Hello everyone! Today I'm going to do a cooking video, but I'm using my handheld camera just because it's a little bit easier to manoeuvre around rather than using my big camera. I do have it there to get some photos for the blog. So the meal I'm going to be making today is a winter staple that I've started to do, and it's a mushroom soup. It's originally taken from the Jamie Oliver book, but there's a couple of things I just took out that I don't really want to put in, or I can't really find. Porcini mushrooms, I can't find them anywhere. They're probably in a random shop right near me, but the 3 places I've been didn't have porcini mushrooms, and I've had to change what I've got. So I'll just get right in and show you how I make this delicious soup. So to make cooking super simple, I find it's best to get the ingredients out almost like you're doing a cooking show. You know the cooking shows where they had, you know, the flour in the bowl and the butter already weighed out. This is actually the easiest way I find to cook, because I'm not, you know, got my hands covered in something, then I'm having to rush off and getting something. So I've got 80 millilitres of single cream. Don't know if this is actually single cream or double cream. I'll just check. Oh no, it is single, that's okay. So yeah, 80 ml of single cream. I've got 50 grams of unsalted butter, 50 grams of cheddar. Now this cheddar is going to have to be grated anyway, so I thought I would just do it ahead of time. 2 stock cubes. You can have either vegetable or chicken. I've opted with chicken. 1 onion, a pinch of dried chili flakes. I do need 1 kilo of mushrooms, but I bought 250 grams extra. So what I'll do is I'll peel them, then weigh them and work out how many I need after they've been peeled. A glug of olive oil, 75 grams of plain flour, and 1 pair of snazzy onion goggles. I've been after these for a while because I like to prep ingredients and freeze them. And I get a lot of spring onions, and when I'm cutting like 20 bunches of spring onions, my eyes are streaming. So for Christmas, my boyfriend got me a pair of onion goggles. There was loads available, but one of them was like Dame Edna glasses, and I thought, I don't want something like that. So these are them, and I can't wait to give them a try out. How good do these look? I'm gonna see if they work, and I might put something because I do have a gap up there. The gap down there is not so big, but if they do let it in, I might just put something around the back and sort of tighten them onto my head. But I can't wait to use them. These are awesome. I can feel the onion going up my nose, and I've got the same feeling I get when my eyes start to stream, but because they're not actually going in my eyes, I can't feel anything. Best present ever. So what we're going to do is add a good glug of oil into a pan, which is on a medium to high heat. This is an electric one, and I've just put it on number 4. I've chopped the mushrooms up. If you've got small mushrooms, like button mushrooms like it says in the recipe, then obviously you don't need to chop the mushrooms up because they're really small anyway. But because mine were big and I have to blend them, it just makes things easier if I chop them up in little bits. I'll just put the onion in the middle there, and the rest of the mushrooms. It gets very full, this pan, so make sure you've got a big enough pan, especially when the stock goes in. Once you've got them in, try and give it a little stir around. And now I'm going to add my chili flakes, my butter and my flour. So I don't want this recipe to be too hot, so I'm going to add it about that many. Just give them a good sprinkle. Get the butter in there. And I'm actually push the butter down to the bottom so it can start melting. And this will take about 20 to 25 minutes to cook right down. You see straight away they start to cook, the ones on the bottom. Last but not least, I'm going to put the flour in. And just give it a nice stir. Right, I'm going to leave this now for about 10 minutes just to cook. Maybe 5 to 10 minutes, come back, give it a stir, leave it another 5 minutes and just keep coming back and stirring it. Okay, so it's been in about 7-8 minutes. And I'm just going to take the stuff in the bottom. Oh, we're fogging up. So I've just given it a good stir there, and you can see how much it's changed colour. It's becoming much, much darker. And all I did was really stir it until all of the flour was stirred in. Okay, so there's about 8 minutes left of cooking time, and you can see now how moist it's got. All of the moisture's come out of the onions and the mushrooms, and it's getting really dark and rich and intense now. Okay, so it's been 25 minutes. The mushrooms have gone like almost a bit sticky. You can see them sticking to one another. All the excess moisture has been cooked out of it, and now it's really, really intense. And now I'm going to add the stock. So I have to make 1.5 litres of stock. This is only a litre, so I'm going to make 2 lots of 750 millilitres of stock. Put that in, and I've got some freshly boiled water, and just fill this up to 750. Give it a quick whisk. It doesn't really matter if the stock cube doesn't fully dissolve in this, because it's going to be in the pan with the water for another 15 minutes, so it'll just get mushed around in there. And I'm just going to add this gradually, put it in, give it a stir around, incorporate it, and I'm going to repeat the process and put the rest of the stock in. Second lot of stock can just be poured in really. And return it up to number 6 because I want to bring it back up to a quick boil. As soon as it's boiling, I'll probably knock it down to a 3. I'm not really sure the temperatures on different hobs. Hopefully it helps if you've got a hob similar to mine. But I'll put it down to a temperature where it's just simmering and let it simmer for 15 minutes. So it's been simmering for 15 minutes now. Give it a good stir, and I'm going to add the cream and the cheese. And I'm just going to sprinkle in the cheese on the top. So I'm just going to stir it in, and this is the last step before I start to blend it. So you can see it's turned into a much creamier, more appetising colour, because it looked like a little bit like a swamp earlier on. So I'm just going to give this 2 minutes of stirring just to melt the cheese, and then I'm going to start to blend it with my hand blender. Okay, so I've mixed all of the stuff in, and now it's just time to blend it up. I've got a hand blender, and this is what it is. It's a Andrew James. I used to have a big blender, but I gave it away because I wasn't really using it enough to warrant keeping it, and it was quite a big one. So I just use this hand blender, but the problem with this is obviously it's not as good as a big one, and I can only do it in like certain vessels. If I do it in a huge bowl, it won't really get anything, so I have to do it in small batches. So what I've got is my small bowl there, small Pyrex dish. I haven't really washed it out, it just had the stock in. I'm going to ladle out the soup into small batches, and then once I've just had a coughing fit, and then once it's blended and I'm happy with it being blended, I'm going to pour it into these soup containers. Whenever I buy soup from a shop, I just keep hold of the container and the lid, and then store them in here. Some of them, obviously you can see this one has been put in the microwave. Whenever you microwave something like this, it marks the outside and stains it. Not too bothered, it's only a store soup in. So this will make, apparently it makes 6 portions. So if it makes 6 portions, it should fill 3 of these, but we'll see how much it actually makes. It's splashing everywhere, so I actually kind of made this. It's just a plate, a plastic plate with the middle cut out, slipped up, and I can slide it over. The splashes are caught on the bottom of the plate rather than big flying. It's all a bit of a mess now. It's all splashed everywhere. So what I've done, I could have got a bowl out, blended it, put it into a big bowl, blended a bit, put it in a big bowl. If I'd have just blended what I'd scooped out, there would be an inconsistency between the consistency of the soup, because I might have got a couple of huge ladles full of mushrooms the first time and then hardly any mushrooms the last time. So what I've done is blended some, put it back in, scooped some back out, put it back in. So now the end result after 3 blends is that it's pretty much done. So what I'm going to do is now do the last blend on each of this. So scoop it into here, blend it, and then put it straight into the pots. And that way I know that there's an even consistency between all of the pots of soup. So it's created 3.5 pots, which is 7 servings. I think it would be 6, but I consider these pots 2 servings each. So I've got 7 servings out of that. I'm probably going to keep 1.5 out, use them for lunches, and then freeze 2. And I know I've got 4 servings there in the freezer. If you want the recipe, I'm going to put it in my blog with a couple of pictures that I took while I was making it. Pop over there, I'll tell you the temperatures and the measurements and things. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you next time. Bye!